to Columbine, which was quite a tragic story.
Yes, a very tragic story.
Many different accounts of what actually happened and led to the wreck of the ship.
Yes, because there was a court of inquiry held at Queenscliff after the wreck of the Columbine, and there was differing evidence given by the captain who survived, and by one of the survivors who not only appeared before that inquiry but also has left us an account of the stranding in a diary. And so the Port Health Officer, Dr. Hunt, who chaired the inquiry, found it very difficult to come down too hard on either side, because the pilot, who had a wife and was it 6 children?
Yes.
Who had a wife and left behind a wife and 6 children when he was drowned in the incident, that the Dr. Hunt thought that he couldn't be too hard on the pilot. And then of course there were the conflicting stories of whether the pilot and the captain of the vessel had an argument about what should be done, because the Columbine arrived in the dark, I think I'm right in saying, in the dark, and it was very unsafe to enter Port Phillip Heads in the dark. And so the pilot ordered the vessel to be hove to until daylight. But then at 10:30 p.m. the Columbine struck bottom and the tiller and the rudder were broken, and then the vessel was washed over the reef and landed on another and landed within a cable length of the beach.
And how long's a cable, Mary? How long would that
Do
be?
you know? I don't know. It's something that someone will have to look up,
Okay.
but I think it...
So it's not very far though,
not
is it?
Not very far. So that after a discussion or argument, whichever you decide, at 3 a.m. in the morning, there was a decision to abandon the ship, because some people felt they should stay with the ship and others to abandon it. And so they launched the longboat to get all the crew and passengers ashore, because water was coming in, so nobody was going to want to stay on a ship that was filling with water. And and it says, with hindsight though, and in accordance with Pilot Davis's original advice for the passengers and crew to remain with the wreck, it was felt that people may have been saved if they'd been able to stay there until daybreak. And, it says the Columbine lay within 200 yards of the beach further down, but that sounds a bit long for a cable, doesn't it? And they could have waded ashore at low tide. But after they launched the ship's longboat, and most of the people who were on the vessel got onto the longboat, and 2 or 3 went onto the smaller boat. A wave turned the longboat broadside to the wave, and it was capsized. And John Clark, the survivor who wrote the diary, was washed overboard, but the wave broke over the boat and washed everyone out of it except for one seaman who had lashed himself in.
So tied himself in.
Tied himself in. Just as before they left, when the ship originally stranded, they had tied all their luggage to the mast of the ship, hoping that they would be able to salvage it later.